You know, I'm not gonna lie, when I heard Avril Lavigne was returning to pop punk, I had some hope that maybe the quality of her album would go up in this case, because when you look at her, maybe specifically first two albums, but I guess you can throw albums 3 and 4 into this, she always did well when she did the whole pop punk thing while also mixing pop tendencies in, but her past two records, which have mainly just been strictly pop, there's always been that, I don't know, formula missing from her. So yeah, when I had heard that she was signed to Travis Barker's label and doing things on her own, making her own album, I was like, cool, maybe we'll get something here. And then I realized something. She signed with Travis Barker's record label, so this doesn't necessarily mean just straight up pop punk. This could mean a whole slew of different things, because if you know Travis Barker and the people he works with, there are rappers turning pop punk that are doing something that they think is pop punk, but really it's just, I really don't know what to call it. And with Avril Lavigne, it was kind of like one of those moments where she's like, I'm gonna show these wannabes how it's done. But then in the midst of it, she was like, I actually kind of like this sound, I'm gonna use it, but I'm still gonna show you how it's done. And then we just get this confusing album titled Love Sucks, which is kind of all over the place, and maybe a little too all over the place for Avril herself. Don't get me wrong, I know that there are people on there that have called it, you know, probably one of the worst things she's done, and really, I don't see that. I think that this is definitely a step up from her previous couple of albums, but there's still definitely just that's something missing from this, and I can't really quite put my finger on it. But, you know, there were songs on here that I like. Love It When You Hate Me is cool. Love Sucks, the title track, I think had a nice little, you know, flow to it. Avalanche and Dare to Love Me, those were the ones that were more kind of like softer in tone, because, you know, Avril Lavigne I always saw as one of the more underrated singers when it came to the genre she was in. She can definitely belt out when she needs to belt out. And especially on the song Dare to Love Me, which was the second to last song on the record, it felt genuine. It felt very heart-wrenching to listen to that song, and she did an excellent job with it. And it should have finished the album off in itself. It didn't. We got this little under 2-minute track that finished the song off that kind of ruined the vibe the ending of the album had, but hey, you know what? I don't know, I'll get to that later. In my okay tracks, we have Cannonball, which was the kickoff. One of the more weaker kickoffs I think I've heard in a while, not that it was bad, but again, there was definitely something just missing from it. Boys Lie, it would have been a good song had MGK not fucking popped in and ruined it. I mean, I don't know what it is with his voice and why he sings like that. There's only one person in the whole entirety of pop punk that is ever sang like MGK is singing, and that is Tom DeLonge. I get Tom DeLonge, Blink-182 may be an inspiration, but is that really the way you want to go? You already can't sing, so you're gonna make it worse by singing like that, because Tom DeLonge never could sing either. He sang like that because he knew he was a bad singer, but it fit the genre that he was going for. You just sound very nasally and whiny and just like you're not even trying, whereas Tom DeLonge at least gave it some effort and, you know, at least had his vocals go, you know, places they had never gone before. I mean, just listen to Stay Together for the Kids by Blink-182 and you can find that, you know, Tom DeLonge, even though not a great singer, could, you know, go higher than what we all thought his vocals were intended to do, whereas MGK, he's just kind of stuck on this one level, and he can't seem to get out of it, because he knows he's bad, and that's the only way he can take it, and it just ruins everything about the songs that he does pop-punk-wise, and this is one of them. Had no problem with Avril's performance on this song, it's just MGK, I just can't stand the way that man sings. It just comes off as so unappealing, it ruins anything that he's on. And then there's the song All I Wanted, which, good song, but hey, Paramore called, they want their chorus back. Okay, not saying it was like a blatant copy of All I Wanted, I don't want people thinking that, but, you know, in the chorus she does say, all I wanted was you, and that's really all it reminded me of. But I'd still prefer the Paramore song, All I Wanted, over this one. Not that this one was bad, but, you know, again, not necessarily one that, like, jumped out at me from first listen. And in my least favorite, I mean, Bite Me, I remember when that was released, I was just like, wow, like, yeah, we've heard angry Avril Lavigne before, but this was just, like, too cliche. This was definitely where I was like, she's definitely chasing the pop punk trend now. Like, it just didn't feel genuine like it did back then, and that was the main problem, especially with a lot of these songs. Kiss Me Like the World Is Ending, Deja Vu, FU, which stands for fucking over you. I don't know why you couldn't just call the song Over You, but okay, I guess is what it is. Give it that cringy song title. Whatever. And then Break of a Heartache, which is the one that comes right at the end. It's the last track on the album. It's 1 minute and about 50 seconds. And it's not that it's bad, I just think I put it my least favorite because when you have a song like Dare to Love Me that comes before that would have been the perfect album finisher, and then you finish it off with this, it just kind of ruined that whole vibe the ending of the album had, where you're like, oh, this is a nice send-off to finish the album, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're getting these pop-punk drums and shit, and you're like, whoa, I didn't want it to end like this. Like, maybe if you put it the song before or something, that would have been great, but for some reason, it was just the placement of the song where it was really just like, I don't know if it needed to be there. Move it up anywhere else in the album, and I think it's fine, but here, no, you just ruined the completely good vibe of the ending of the album in itself. This album had 3 features. Boys Live featuring MGK, like I said, that was terrible. Love It When You Hate Me features Black Bear, and he definitely does feel like he fits in more than MGK. He's another one of those rappers that is going pop punk, even though I think he started out in the pop punk genre, so it's something that he's done before. And, you know, in this one, though, he doesn't really use, like, a pop-punk voice. He just kind of, you know, raps through what he's given, and I think it works well with what is there. And then All I Wanted features Mark Hoppus, and, you know, I think with that song, too, another reason it's in my okay is because the verses are a little choppy. The chorus is good, though. But, yeah, I think Mark Hoppus on a track like that, again, definitely does fit the demeanor of what he does. I mean, Blink-182 has done pop-punk songs like this in recent memory with their past album, but, you know, I just feel like with Mark Hoppus, when you throw him on a track, 99.9% of the time he knows what he's there for, he knows what he's doing, and he'll do it right for the most part, so he did a fantastic job here. Overall, with this album, it was a very up and down experience. Again, I think I'm just more disappointed because I was expecting more because of her turning back to the whole pop-punk thing. I was like, okay, maybe we'll go back to when she was getting the big hits. I'm not saying that, like, these songs were intended to be, like, huge hits like, you know, her songs back then, but, like, I was like, maybe there's something there that'll stick out enough that'll make me go, oh, this album is worth going back to, this album is worth listening to, and really, that's not the case here. I found myself just jumping from, oh, I love this, to, oh, this is not great, she can definitely do better in this case. And that's why I think giving this album a 5 out of 10 is the right thing to do, because that was just, again, a 50-50 reaction all the way through. There's really nothing else I can give this rating other than a 5. It seemed fair in this case. There were things I felt like that if she would have done throughout the album that worked, it would have been a great album, but she kind of also just threw stuff in there that didn't really fit what she does, or didn't really fit the atmosphere of the album overall and kind of brought it down. I don't know, I wasn't feeling a majority of it either, so that's my thoughts on this. You can tell me in the comments below what do you think, and until then, stay safe out there, wear your mask, get vaccinated, and I will catch you all in the next one.